Sisters and brothers, welcome. We have just celebrated the liturgy of the 32nd Sunday in Ordinary Time. Last Sunday, we were given a message of how to live as mature Christians by loving God and loving our neighbors. And loving our neighbors as ourselves as the beginning, but then to perfect it by loving our neighbors as Jesus would love them. Today, we are given another gospel reading that teaches us how to live maturely as mature Christians. And I believe that Jesus is teaching us today with this story of the widow. Jesus is teaching us to give, to support the church, not out of our excesses, not out of the things that we want to throw away in our garages, but to actually give out of our essence, out of the things that are part of us. That when we want to give an offering, we should think about it, we should consider what God has blessed us with, and then decide what to give the church. Sometimes this can be 10%, sometimes it can be 20%, sometimes it can be 50% based on what is happening at the time. But it's a mature Christian reflection on what God has blessed you with. So this message today for me reminds us that this idea of 10%, which is in the Old Testament, was not a Christian idea. The Old Testament is the beginning to train. They were forced to give 10% because some of them will not do anything. Some of them will not give. So that is what you do with children who are not matured yet. You give them a law, you give them a tax. But with mature Christians, you are supposed to think about it, think about what God has blessed you with, and come out with a figure, and you will know. The Spirit will guide you to know, to be generous, to help the church and give as an offering and not as a tax. This widow did exactly that. The widow in the gospel reading gave out of her essence, not out of her excess. The other people, the rich people, they were giving out of their excess, the things that they don't need anymore, the excess of their lives. May God bless you. May God touch your heart to be able to consider supporting the church and supporting God's work out of your heart, out of your essence.